All right, taping this a little before 9 o'clock Pacific time.
What's wrong?
You're wearing a fucking Cowboys hat. You're super happy.
Come on. I barely get any of these over you in the last however many years. But really, how many Sundays have I gotten over you? 3 in 14 years? Give me a break. This is terrific.
At what point did you realize that this game had to come down to the fourth quarter and Brady driving for a go-ahead something and then either us not getting the ball or us having one last chance? And you couldn't have scripted this. I'm drained. I'm groggy. I'm sad. It's a gamut of emotions. And the Red Sox Yankees is Tuesday. I'm too old for this, Sal.
I know. This could have been so great had the Red Sox blown it to the Nationals, and then you would have had another game. And what a great podcast this would have been for me. But no, I'm the other way. I'm like, how did this come down to suck up versus Belichick, or suck up versus Folk, or whatever it is? Like that, nobody wanted that, right? I thought the game sucked, except for the fact that it was close in the fourth quarter. Like that's, I don't know. It was all ugly, including Steve Belichick's tongue. What the hell is that? I don't need to see that anymore.
A lot of people wondering what's going on with Steve Belichick. Let's start with the big decision. Belichick, 4th and 3. Mac Jones has had 19 straight completions in the fourth quarter, in the second half at some point. The Bucs have lost every defensive back they have, it seems like. Just guys disappearing. They're off. They're getting carried off. Mm-hmm. Richard Sherman, who wasn't even on a team in week 1, he's out there. Now he's like their number 1 D-back because everyone else is gone. And they get a pass batted down. All of a sudden, here comes Nick Folk to kick a 56-yard field goal in the rain.
Yeah.
And it's like the classic thing of, why are we doing the thing that the other team's fans are doing backflips that you're doing this? What are the odds of a 56-yard field goal in the rain over
the hardest the rain has been? Announcer said it was the hardest it's been raining all night. And that's your guy.
Over Mac Jones, who's been moving the ball 5-10 yards per pass for 3 quarters.
Not only that, flag happy refs, even if he throws it up and something happens, you can get lucky on that. Yeah, that was not, I'll tell you why he did it though, because you needed more than the visual. You needed that doing that has to ring in your head for the next, whenever you sleep, 6, 7, 8 hours tonight. It's not enough that you saw what you saw. You have to hear it too. Come on. This is fine. Tom Brady stuck it up your keister. You get to feel like everybody else has in the league. It's just how it is. Sorry.
Did you think Tom Brady played well in that game? Because
I didn't. I thought they both stuck, but I also thought, like, are we being rooked here? What is this? Is this Brady? When like boxers, like they can get the knockout anytime they want, and then they're like, you know what? He was my hero growing up, so you carried him to a decision. I had a little of that feeling early on because it didn't feel like he went for the, and also like I don't know. Even I know Jones was hurt, the D-back was hurt, but that's not Brady's way. He likes to dice and slice you with a first down there. I was surprised he went end zone twice there towards the end.
Yeah, he went really low percentage Antonio Brown passes. One of them seemed like it was there and he threw it to the wrong shoulder, or Brown didn't turn the right way. And then the other one, it would have been an unbelievable catch. But you're right. All you need is a first down. You just need to move the chains. We should never have the ball back, the Patriots, in that situation. The way it's set up, they were moving the ball. He was able to get to where he wanted to go. To me, like, big picture with this Patriots season, they've had multiple games now, all three losses, where they had to get a stop in the fourth quarter and they couldn't do it in any of the games. And Miami had to get the stop to get the ball back, couldn't get it. Saints, same thing. They're down 8, but they needed a stop and they just couldn't get it. And then today, same thing. They just couldn't get the stop and the Bucs were able to get the field goal. So they're kind of lingering in these games. Like, I don't know if this team's that far away. They can't run the ball. I can't figure out what's going on with that. They can't run block at all. But Mac, I thought Collinsworth was a little too ebullient about it. As good as Mac was for a rookie, it wasn't. I'm not going to be telling my grandkids that we scored 17 points in a Sunday night game, but he was good. Like, they couldn't run the ball at all. The Bucs knew we had to throw every down, and they were hitting the shit out of him, right? I mean, were you impressed? You have no dog in this race.
I'm impressed with him. I think he's the one shining star in this game, right? I mean, he had however many completions he had in a row. That the secondary was beat up, which, again, we just talked about. More reason to go for it down there. Every single drive, there was another guy in the secondary out. Winfield was out in that last drive. And if I would have asked you at any point during the week, you're down 2 with the ball, 1:57 left and a timeout, you would have taken that every time, right? Like, there's nothing better than that.
both teams left it on the table. Like they get that Jacoby Myers pass, and it seems like we're going to roll and get a touchdown, but then we blow the next series and end up settling for the field goal. Brady said this after the game. The Bucs had a ton of stuff inside the 30 that they just, I can't even speak. Like, have you ever heard me screw up more words? I feel like I'm drunk. But they missed a bunch of possibilities. It seemed like Evans was open that whole game. Right. It seemed like Brown was open that whole game. And Fournette, that was the best we've seen him look since the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they still only scored 19 points.
Right. No, so I'm with you. There was a total look. The game plan was there. It was pouring rain. Brady looked like crap. I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything more. Your quarterback couldn't be hotter. I guess they got to Jones a lot, like you said. That's the only real advantage I think the Bucs had for the whole game. They can get to your guy, but otherwise, it was right there for Belichick. And I was thinking, like, where does this rank? If you asked him, and he had to answer honestly, no one will ever ask him this, and if they did, he wouldn't be straight with you. But where did this rank in terms of needing this game, wanting this game? Obviously, the biggest regular season game, I think, of his career. What does it overshadow, like a playoff game? Like, would he have rather lost to? I don't think he would have rather lost to the Falcons or anything like that. But my God, this had to be so big, and to blow it on that last call it makes it even more deafening. The roars of discontent from the fans.
I think the biggest regular season game of his career was the last Giants game in 2007.
Undefeated.
To go 16-0. Yeah. Right. I think that was the biggest one. Mm-hmm. I think there's been other ones with this kind of stature. I think the difference with this game is it still doesn't seem like they have a feel for what kind of team they have. Right. And you don't want to go 1-3. I think he cares probably more about that than losing to Brady. They were in the game. They did what they needed to do. They tricked him enough times. They didn't get him. He didn't roll down the field. He didn't put up 45 points on them, anything like that. And I would say the Bucs probably have a little more talent than the Pats. It was a very patriot-y kind of thing. It reminded me, like, if you're going to be optimistic, it reminded me a little of an 0-1 when they lost to the Rams on Sunday night. I think it was 24-17. Remember that game? But they hung around. It was like week 9.
Yeah.
And they hung around. And everyone thought that Rams were like, greatest show on turf, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And they kind of hung in that game and showed something. And there was enough of a foundation that it carried them the rest of the way. I do think they built some foundation in this game. I have no idea why they can't run the ball. I mean, the Damian Harris thing's a disaster.
Yeah. Well, he got hurt, then he came back, right?
Right. But he's just like, he's getting hit behind the line more than Najee Harris.
It was weird because, like you said, it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't the romantic story everyone wrote to it. And by the way, I had the Chiefs and Bucs on a teaser, and I thought both would be very easy. And I'm like ripping what's left of my hair out towards the end of that game. But it wasn't, like you said, Brady going up and down the field, putting up 40 on him. We learned midweek or Thursday that Gronk isn't going to be in there. Oh my God, it's going to be a whitewash. Gronk is going to catch the pass that puts him over the 68 yards, whatever. Oh, now he's not playing. Now it's raining. Everything was dealt in Belichick's favor. He wasn't embarrassed at all, except for the last call. Like, it's so weird that's what it came down to. Not what anyone thought.
And the guy who I think has made the right decision in decisions like that more than anyone else in the history of the league, I just think he botched it. To me, I thought they were joking. I thought they were going to pretend they were going to do the field goal and try to get him to draw off sides and then call timeout or something. But even they had the timeout, right? So if he misses the field goal, what are you going to do with the timeout anyway? At least come out on 4th and 3, hard count.
Try to draw
something,
them off sides,
make them, there's just so many more things you can do with that than the 56-yarder. And Nick Folk's been surprisingly decent for them, considering, he kind of bounced around. He's closer to our age, probably than Mac Jones's age. Yeah. But 56 yards, not in a rainstorm, I would have been surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if it was perfect weather in a dome, I don't know if I would have felt good about it from 56.
And it's not based on anything you saw from your quarterback. It's not like, oh, my quarterback, he's been sacked 3 times in a row, or he can't hit the out route or anything like that. Like, if that was piled up against you, then all right, then I could see that decision. But I don't know.
Winfield was out. Like, once Winfield was out, it was like, oh my God, this is how are we not running amok? I'll say big picture, like nothing to do with the decision. Really weird experience watching this game. And I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of Boston fans out there feeling this way. This was like the most important football play we've ever had. And I know it was hyped up, and we get the Adele video, and we've certainly talked about it ad nauseum, but the actual experience of not only having to root against that guy, But then being in the position of having the lead against him with 8 minutes left in our building, and then he's going down, it's like 3rd and 9. Of course he's going to get this, you know, and just being on the other side of that was really weird. It was, I'm kind of disoriented from it.
But it could have been so much worse. It could have been, like we said, a big blowout, or it could have been Brady throws a touchdown with no time left. And it wasn't that. It was your kicker screwed up and your coach screwed up. So at least for the last 3 minutes of the game, I mean, like real time 3 minutes, you didn't even have to look at Brady until after the game when he's getting
well, but they had the celebration replay right after, though. That one hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
They went like right to Brady with the fist pump. He's running around doing the let's go. I was like, Yeah,
you probably don't like that.
Yeah, it was, you know, he's certainly Brady, Bird, and Bobby Orr and Ortiz were the 4 guys of my lifetime in Boston sports. And the other 3 never really came back in a big spot. It seemed like Brady was relieved it was over. In that interview, he's basically like, you know, I look forward. I'll be coming back someday, you know, after I'm retired. And I think Collinsworth was the one who said this might be the last time they ever play, you know? And they would have to be either a Super Bowl or it would have to be a couple years down the road and he'll be gone by then. Everybody thinks he's gone when he's 45.
Think about Bills fans and Jets fans and Dolphins fans who had to have that guy beat him like a dozen times, more than a dozen times, you know, however many times, way more than a dozen times. You only had to deal with it once. Yeah, great. It was under the lights on Sunday night. I was bummed out that we couldn't actually tell if Brady was crying in the post-game interview because it was so much rain, but he lucks out again.
But classic Brady, like he wasn't good in that game, but when they needed him to make a couple plays, he did. You know, and then the plays that he missed, they were already in field goal range.
Yep. Running on 3rd and 7, just knowing how to fall forward, even though that's not his thing, you know. There's a little things for sure.
And then we had the gambling subplot to this.
Yeah.
Everyone and their brother had a Bucs Chiefs tease.
Right.
The Bucs getting teased down to 1, basically. Or if you got them at 6.5 down to a half point.
Yeah.
It was the most obvious tease. I don't know, not just this season, but in the last couple years. You were on it early. You were like, who doesn't have this?
Yeah, because if both teams are home, first of all, they're coming off losses. And I get it. Both their opponents were coming off losses, the Eagles and the Patriots. But I didn't think Mahomes was going to lose 3 times in a row. If they're home and it's -11 and you tease it to -5, it's a different story. It's a perfect situation. They're on the road. You know, both of them -7, so you could tease it down to -1. The thing I was worried or didn't think I'd had to be worried about was this rain. Did you know that rain was in the forecast? Not that it kills Brady ever before, but it really made things more interesting for sure.
God was crying. God was emotional. Yeah. So we did on $1 Million Picks. We did the middle where it was like, if the first part of this hits, Pats +7, try to get it in the middle. Once I saw the rain, it really did have the feeling of like, oh, this is going to be like an under 50 points at least, you know, it'd be like a 24-21. But the way the Pats move the ball, I think only ending up with 17 points is almost impossible. Because every time he went back to pass, he was taking a hit, but he was always finding somebody for 6 to 8 yards.
Yep.
And guys were wide open all over the place. And I think when they look back at the tape on this, that will be the thing that jumped out. How did we not score more? And then Brady's going to look at like the 8 throws that he missed, and some of them sailed because of the rain and stuff like that. Do you feel differently about the Bucs?
Yeah,
as
I do.
A contender?
Yeah, big picture. If they can't get the secondary guy, I mean, they haven't had one good game defensively, right? Like Dak Prescott went nuts on them. The Falcons, who are the most miserable team in all sports, we'll get to that, I'm sure, later. They were down 3. They were putting up points on them in the fourth quarter. Who am I missing? I forgot who else did they barely beat. Oh, well, they lost the Rams
beat them up.
Yeah. So, and then this game. So, I mean, in this game, it was glaring too. Not that it resulted in 7 points every drive, but I mean, you talk about gambling. Tampa Bay, like we said, 157 left. Mac Jones with the ball. Tampa Bay was -170. I was like, I got to put a little bit on New England here. This is crazy. That's this. They could go 40 yards if the refs don't help. He can complete 3 passes. But he needed to complete 4. That's the difference.
And the refs did help. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend from a Boston sports standpoint because we had this Red Sox thing where what a roller coaster ride. It seems like the bullpen collapses 2 weeks ago heading into this final week. And just like, oh, yeah, after they get swept by the Yanks, they have no chance. Then they lose 2 or 3 to the Orioles. Then it seems like they're going to be in play in hell against somebody and get smoked. Then they rally together this weekend. The Yankees lose 2 pivotal ones. And then all of a sudden today, everything's in their lap, and they're down 5-1 against the Nationals, who not only have punted on the season, all they care about is what inning are they going to take out Ryan Zimmerman for the standing ovation when he leaves the field. They're up 5-1. Red Sox rally back. And now we're headed for this Red Sox-Yankees thing that it's a worst-case scenario. Losing that one game off to the Yankees, they'll be insufferable for years. And now I got to watch Bucky Dent highlights. I'm telling you, Sal, I'm really drained. Like I might have to go to 7-Eleven and buy some cigarettes. It's just, I might be coming out of cigarette retirement.
I think subconsciously we started it off with the 86 Mets documentary, and you're like, screw this. Why the hell do I need to see this? And
yeah, you're such a dick.
I'm sorry.
I go to the screening, you're like, don't worry, the Red Sox part isn't covered. Literally the beginning of it is slow motion.
I forgot.
I'm back in Shea Stadium.
Yeah, well, slow motion doesn't count. Yeah, no.
Wait, when are we going to not care as much is my question. Like, I turned 52 last week. I thought I wasn't going to care as much.
I know. It's dumb shit. We're surrounded by dumb crap. Fantasy shouldn't matter.
No, but I'm talking about with the teams that we actually love.
Right.
What I feel like I still care 100%. Like still, my feelings are really hurt and I'm really in a funk. I remember I was in San Antonio for the finals and the Bruins were playing the Blackhawks. And they had this, I think, double overtime game. But we were watching a hotel. My dad was there because my dad came in for a finals game. And we were with my friend Hershey. And we're watching this like double overtime cup game. And my dad's just locked in. The Blackhawks score. And my dad just gets up and he says, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And he's just gone. And my friend Hershey was like, that's where I want to be when I'm in like my mid-60s. I want to care that much where I'm just going right to the elevator in shock. And
all right.
I didn't fully understand it, but now I as I get older, it's like, oh, so this is my whole life. I'm going to care this much.
Here's the difference for me. Like, I think I'd be okay with it. I'd be able to rein it in a little bit. But all my friends are assholes. They are. And they just make fun of me if my team loses and I have enough. And you're pretty good about it. But, Hench maybe not. So not even that he taunts me, but just like, oh, enough. I don't want to hear about it. So if everyone would just chill out, I think I could be good too. But no, it's never going to happen. We surround ourselves with lunatics. And so we're stuck.